Welcome back to Worst Engines or Not. Today we are going to talk about the Chrysler 2.4 liter Tigershark engine. This is an inline 4-cylinder engine and is an aluminum block with cast iron cylinder liners and aluminum cylinder heads. This is sort of the updated version of the World Gas engine, and this was released in 2013. I will put up a list of the applications here. This engine utilizes something called multi-air tube technology. This is an electronic system that controls air intake cylinder by cylinder, stroke by stroke. So you can actually have two completely different valve lift events in the same combustion cycle, depending on what your vehicle needs. And this system is in place to help optimize performance and emissions and fuel consumption and power so that everything can operate properly. So here is a picture of the actuator. It sits between the cam and the intake valve, and it's basically an electro-hydraulic high-pressure oil chamber that helps the engine control all of this. The system relies heavily on oil quality, oil quantity, oil viscosity, and we all know that the biggest variable here is obviously the consumer. So we can just take a guess at how this is turning out. Dirty oil is going to plug the oil channels, it is going to plug the solenoids, and this system will fail. And this is not a cheap fix. This is extremely expensive to fix. And all of that leads me right into the next large problem that we have with these engines, which is oil consumption. So whether it's that the multi-air 2 system needs more oil to lubricate all of those moving parts, or some say that there is a rumored problem with the piston rings that we know can lead to oil consumption. Whatever the reason is, the oil consumption in these engines is absurd. Consumers say up to 1 quart per 1,000 miles, which is a lot of oil. There are also complaints that the oil change intervals that are suggested for this just simply are not small enough. You know, whatever the reason may be, there are lemon laws and class action lawsuits and all types of things about the oil consumption and problems in this engine. Whatever the reason is, it is definitely a big problem. Other than those two issues, there really isn't a whole lot else to look at here. We do hear of some oil leak problems, but I think we can all agree that any engine will eventually run into some type of oil leak. It is just something that's going to happen over time. So if you've got experience with this one, I would love to hear about it. If you've ever worked on this multi-air system, I would love to hear about that as well.